What's up, Detroit? We are here with Mr. Kearn Brantley. How are you doing?
Oh, great. How are you today?
My man, it's great to see you. Thanks for stopping in and talking with us. Let's talk about your activities in Detroit to help the new generation of music.
Okay, well, most recently I did a master class at DIME, which is the Detroit Institute of Music Education, where I'm teaching kids about touring, what it's like to do a major audition, some of the things that they need to prepare for, going on the road. Also, we talk about things about how to save your money on the road, instruments, equipment, the right selection of instruments and guitars and that kind of thing. That's one project I've been working on. And the second one is a thing called Join the Band, which is we'll be looking across the city in churches, schools, jazz clubs, and just in the community, looking for young talented musicians to come together and do a major showcase here in Detroit this spring.
So, what instruments do you play?
Well, my main instrument is the bass guitar, but I also play lead guitar, piano, and I'm a programmer. I program sounds and drum machines and that type of stuff.
Nice. And a music director?
That musical director, that's a great challenge because as a musical director, you have to know everybody's part.
Tell us a little bit more about being a music director, because I'm getting the vision of it, but I know it has to be a very detailed and
Yes.
demanding role, especially when you're dealing with the major names.
Yeah, because the musical director is kind of like the middleman between the band, the artist, and the management.
Okay.
Sometimes certain artists may not want to deal with the band directly, so they'll deal just with the musical director and explain what they need and what they want and what they expect from the band, and then he would in turn relay that to the musicians. And then sometimes when the management is dealing with things with the band, they'll come to the MD first and discuss it with him, and then from there they'll take it on over to the band. So it's kind of like a middleman position, and it's also kind of like a, everybody follows your lead,
Sure.
As a musical director, I'm open for suggestions. If you have a great idea, something that's going to make the show hot, I feel it's great. Just put it in there, and if we can get it in there and work it out,
Yeah.
cool. So it's kind of, you kind of like that middleman between everybody, and you got to keep the morale of the band up. You got to keep management happy, of course, and more importantly, you got to keep the artist happy.
That's right.
Because all our job is there is to accompany this artist.
What places have you been? Have you traveled to with all these celebrities and
Man, well, actually, I'm on my fourth passport.
Okay. Around the world.
Yeah,
Huh?
I think I've been around the whole world. My most recent tour, the last tour I was on with the Lady Gaga Art Pop Tour and Lady Gaga Born This Way Tour, we went around the entire world. We went to South America, the countries like Bogota, Peru, Argentina, all over Europe, all over Africa, China, Russia, all over Canada, of course, the United States. In Eastern Europe, countries that I've never been to, like Estonia and parts way what's that, Bogota, and it was great, man.
Another event coming up centered around artistry in Detroit that you're going to be working with.
One of the programs is called the Boot Camp, Musicians Boot Camp. And it's another thing that's giving back to the youth, where we're taking kids for like a weekend, showing them what it's like being backstage and behind the scenes. Because a lot of people think that you just have to be a singer or a rapper, but there's so many other jobs behind the scene, like musicians, the musical directors, the dancers, the lighting director, the videographers, the set carpenters, the guys that hang all the lighting and all that stuff, and even the caterers and hair and makeup, security, so many different opportunities. So we want to take kids back behind the stage and let them know that, look, there's all the jobs available that aren't on the stage, but they still are very important to the show.
Sure. So what advice would you give a young Kearn out there?
Well, I would give them the advice that I got from a famous drummer from Detroit, the late Ricky Lawson, who plays with Michael Jackson. And Ricky told me, he said, the key to this thing is to always stay humble, but be as versatile as possible, which means learn all styles of music, gospel, jazz, R&B, rock, pop, and just learn them everywhere and practice, and perfect your craft. So that's what I would tell them, just practice and be the best that you can be on your instrument.
That's awesome. And that's what's up, Detroit. Kids, practice, prepare.